This is Project Next Level Podcast.
Guys, welcome to Project Next Level Podcast. Today, I got a special ass guest. I'm super excited. Dustin Gutkowski, my man, serial entrepreneur, owner of Results Roofing, bro. This guy, I met him at the one of Patrick Bet-David's events.
Yeah.
So I connected with him. Something about this guy is very special. I'm really excited to talk to him, get some intel out of him. Dude, welcome.
Appreciate
You're our
it.
first official podcast
Yes.
in our studio, and I want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I appreciate you letting me be the first guest, man.
For
What an
sure.
honor.
Man.
I appreciate it.
Tell me this. So why are you in Florida? You called me a few weeks ago, and then
Yep.
you're telling me coming to Florida. What's up with that?
Yeah, so we're going to be expanding in the Florida market, doing the roofing here. I think it's the kind of next steps, right? We're gonna do it right though. We're not storm chasing, but I think it's the next steps, man. We got a lot of ties to Florida. We created a lot of relationships along the way, and it's really Texas, Florida are the two like roofing markets, right? You probably Colorado's in there, but if you're talking top roofing, markets,
Storms
it's
Detroit.
Florida. It's Florida and Texas, man, especially when we're in Dallas. And, I know a lot of people hate the laws here because of it, but I kind of like them because on the other end, you get Dallas, which is the wild, wild west. There's no regulation. So maybe somewhere in the middle, there's that balance. And we feel like we do stuff the right way, so we're not really worried about it. And but yeah, man, we're officially coming to Florida. We're obviously getting through our license and looking to expand and grow and do all that. So that's why we're here and just, man, let's go, right?
Tell me about Results Roofing, bro. I know, but I want the audience to know how you. First of all, what'd you guys make last year?
What did we make? Or we
When did you start?
Yeah,
When did you start? That's what.
To November of 2019, so about 2 months before COVID.
Crazy.
Last year we did right at 40 million. In
40
revenue.
million in 4 years. So
just last year.
that's insane.
So I mean, we did 3 million first year, 10 million second, 19 third, and then
You guys are really doubling, pretty much. Plus minus, you just keep doubling.
Pretty much, man. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy journey.
And before roofing, what were you doing?
I was in the fitness industry, so I managed health clubs.
That's crazy. What happened during that time? Like, why'd you end up changing?
I didn't care about roofing, so like that people get it like, well, what was your, you come from a construction background, nothing like that. I saw an opportunity in roofing. I like to, when I do something, I want to look at what's the problem in that, and how can I fix it? And if I can't fix it, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to care about it.
Right.
I don't want to just get a job to get a job. I don't do well on this type of stuff. So, I've had some shady dealings with contractors before, like
it's
the money up front.
thing.
It's rampant, right?
100%.
I'm like, man, we do things in the fitness industry. It's different. Like I use the example, like I love shoes, right?
Yeah.
So if I go buy shoes, like I go walk in, I give them money, and I get my shoes, and I'm happy.
Right.
I'm excited. Like I know what I'm getting. Like when you go into the gym industry, you're buying a membership. So like you go in there because maybe you're overweight or out of shape. You're like, I want to lose 50 pounds, but you don't walk in and give them money and lose 50 pounds.
Right.
It's literally a promise that you're going to go and do something. And so with roofing, I felt like usually you get roofing when it's a disaster, storm, right? Hailstorm, windstorm, hurricane, whatever it is. And then you go through all this BS with shady contractors when you're dealing with, I don't want to say the worst time of your life, but if you're a family person, it's tough. And then like you're dealing with insurance, you're dealing with maybe a faulty roof, leaks in your home, and then now the person that's supposed to help you is going to steal from you. Like that just felt off to me. And I was like, man, we could really come in and kind of provide this look.
It's a gap. You saw a gap in the market.
Yeah, and bring some of the fitness industry kind of, like promises and helping the customers along. Like I love that part of the business. And so I saw that opportunity. I was like, man, I feel like we could excel here. Like I feel like I could come in and just dominate it is what I thought. And
it looks like you're doing a pretty damn good job, bro.
Man, we're trying. Like we're just trying to do it, one day
And the
at a
fact
time.
that you're going states is trying to go to multiple states now, because you guys got systems intact. You guys got it dialed in pretty much. You'll say. Yeah?
I think we're trying to always evolve, right? Like we don't think we know it all.
Right.
We're trying to evolve. We're trying to get better. We're trying to understand. Like, we had a lot of success in Houston, which is 4 hours away from Dallas, so it's a totally different market. they don't have hailstorms there, right? It's completely different. So we've had some ton of success in Houston as well. And so now it's like, can we expand into another market? We know our system and process work to agree, but we're constantly updating it. Like it's never like this is the way it is. And for me, like I just want it to be right. Like I don't want to be right. I just want to get it right. And so
Right.
if I'm wrong, dude, I'll be the first one in a meeting to be like, no, this is the way it is. This is what we're doing. And someone shows me that way is better. I'll completely 180 and go, nope, that's right. Let's do that. Like
Well, that's what that's what the big thing that drew me to you. Like you're raw. You're legit. Like straight up. You what you see is what you get out of you. Now we're just talking about this. Not a lot of people are authentic, and they're not going to be honest with you. So that's a good trait that you have that you brought into your business.
Yeah, and I'm with myself though too. Like, how the hell are you ever going to be honest with other people if you can't even be honest with yourself? So many people like trying to fake it. That the whole fake it till you make it. I mean, we were just watching this guy last night on Instagram. I'm like, bro, this guy's gonna have a crazy downfall.
Yeah.
Because literally in one of his videos, he was like, I faked it until I made it. And I feel like if you're faking it, you're literally admitting you're lying to people, you're lying to yourself, you're overspending to look a part that you're not there.
You're not authentic.
So you're literally lying to get ahead. There's no substance to who you are. Fake it till you make it is, to me, those are the biggest frauds. Just be who you are. And how about I just actually go make it? How about just put in the fucking work and go make it? And so, man, I am who I am. I don't want to change for anyone. It's like I got to be honest with myself, so therefore I can be honest with people around me. I have a ton of holes in my game.
But you attract, dude. That's exactly what happens. You attract those same people because you're authentic. When you're fake, you're going to attract a bunch of different types of people. You could be real ones, fake ones, and everything. And at the end of the day, it's not a long-term strategy probably of having those people around you that are good people.
People see through it, man. People look. One of the most important lessons I've learned is successful people, they don't buy your bullshit. Yeah. And they're not going to front you out on it because it's not worth their time. Because if I confront you about that, all you're going to do is get confrontational. All you're going to do is retaliate. All you're going to do is argue. You're going to defend yourself. So,
100%.
Dude, I'm just going to walk away because you're not going to understand it anyways. And so this is the one thing I learned, man. Is successful people don't buy your bullshit. And so when you're trying to lie to yourself and other people, man, they see right through it. And this goes back to, it's like, the easiest example is, it's like people that complain. People that complain only hang around other complainers. Not because they
100%.
care about their problems. It's just because they're like, well, homeboy listens to me complain, so I got to listen to him.
It's comfort. It's a comfort zone.
That's it, man.
It's like the worst thing is a comfort zone.
Yeah.
Were you always this way, or when you like in high school? Who was Dustin?
Man, completely opposite. I was actually the fake it till you make it guy, the liar, the fraud.
Shit.
Oh yeah, dude, completely different. Because
interesting.
Yeah, man.
Did not expect that answer.
Yeah, no, I really was, because it was I was embarrassed by my past, and so I lied to myself. So this is the crazy thing, man. When I chat with people and try to coach people on our team or people around, I'm gonna tell you what I think you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying that I'm better than you. Like, people get it twisted, like, oh, you just think you're better than. No, man. Let me tell you, I've lived the life that I'm talking to you about. I've stepped on those landmines. I've fucking fell in that hole. I've done all those things I'm telling you about. I'm just trying to help you avoid them or speed up your reaction time from where you're going. That's it, man. I don't think I'm better than you. You know why? It's just I've experienced it. I was the guy that lied and was a fraud. I was the guy that, was egotistical, thought I was the man when I hadn't done shit. I was the guy that lied about my past. I was all those things, and it got me nowhere. And the day that I started saying, okay, man, I'm going to figure out who I am, and I started being authentic to who I am, and I started trying to make myself happy opposed to everyone around me, because I spent my whole life trying to fit in. I spent my whole life trying to please other people. And when I stopped doing those things.
When did that start? You would say like plus minus.
When I had my son.
Wow, so it's not even too long ago, you would say. Long ago.
And I started like being better with it, but it was like
dramatic change when you had your son. That's what you remember. That's when you remember.
Like it wasn't just my son. It was watching my wife hold him. Was like, hey man, like it's on. Like y'all fucked up. Like it's. Yeah. I knew that day. I was like, y'all fucked up. Like I didn't have a father. And I was like, y'all, I get a chance to write my own story from today. Like y'all fucked up. Like the worst thing.
That's motivation.
You couldn't. It was over. And I knew it was over for everyone around me. Like, if you were going to compete with me, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to fucking bury you. I'm going to like bring you up to bury you again. I'm gonna make you
Love
rethink that you should never competed with me. I'm gonna rethink what you do. You should probably change industries. You shouldn't want to. You go compete with yourself. Go compete with those guys. I got respect for you. I love the grind. I have the utmost respect for the guys out there doing it. I have respect for the guys in the roofing industry that are doing more revenue than us. I have respect for the people doing less revenue than us. I have respect. I'm a competitor and I know what it takes to be a business owner. So I'm not naive to that, but don't get it twisted. We're competing and I don't want to be your friend. I want to bury you and let you know I buried you. And look, man, if you beat me, I'll shake your hand and say respect because I know what it took.
Yeah, yeah. It's because if he beat you, because you guys are on another level for sure, and to get what you guys got and to beat it, that's pretty good, bro.
Yeah.
And 40 million in 4 years in sales, which dude, you guys there's no ceiling on what you guys are going to be doing.
Yeah, there's
not. It's going to be crazy.
It's not. I laugh because we're in Florida and I saw a clip like recently from when the Orlando Magic had, what was it, like Byron Scott, Penny Hardaway, Shaq. And remember, Jordan had come back and Jordan was wearing 45. And they're in that playoff game. And then one of the Magic players had said after a win, 45 is not who 23 used to be. And then the next game, Jordan came out in 23, which is completely against the rules. It takes like a year to change your number, like off season. And they still didn't win that series, but the next year they went on and had like the best record ever in the NBA, right? Because that level of competition, I love that stuff, man. But Jordan wasn't going out he wasn't partying with his competitors, like
because he's the best. That's why he's the best of the best.
Yeah, man.
There's always training.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with like. I think people get it twisted on like competing is a bad thing. You can be respectful.
I think it's just in today's world, everyone's so soft, and so it's easy. Like the participation trophies, we're not even going to get into that, but it's so healthy. It's what makes you better. It's almost you're held accountable.
Yeah,
like winning is an accountability thing. If you have a good track record of winning, that's good.
Yeah,
and then we're kind of missing that in today's society. I think for sure.
No, well, winning's contagious, but unfortunately, so is losing, right? And people
I feel like it's more contagious to people. Once you get in that flow of constantly losing, you feel like you can never win.
Yeah.
And that's why people give up, go to addiction, just don't care about life anymore as much as you should. Life could be so fulfilled. Kids obviously change the whole perspective of everything, but there's so much being in this country and everything has to offer. It's actually incredible. Like, it gets every year, and the more I'm in business as well, it gets more and more exciting because, like you're saying, I find my competitors, like, I want to kill them as well. Like, I want them to go out of business. I don't, but I do, because I want to take over the market and destroy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's healthy because you have to have that mindset if you want to break through those barriers. If you're going to be like, we could go to get, but what if he has the mindset of killing you? Just like war, if you come inside, like, we're going to fight it out, we're going to juke it out. We'll be friendly. But no, dude, life is cutthroat. Like, you got to be annihilating everyone and everything in your way. And again, we're getting so soft in society where people are like, nah, it's cool to be like average. It's cool to be like soft. Don't be so hard. Don't be so hard. Dude, that's just bullshit, man. I definitely am 100% with you on that, bro. And not many people think that way.
Yeah, there's I don't, it's weird, man. Like, I don't focus on them. Like, I don't go pay attention to what the competition is doing because I just don't. But I just want to take it off. There's like everybody's a competition, but then no one is. If that makes sense,
right?
It's very like bipolar business. Like, you have to be bipolar. Like, you have to be super competitive, but then you have to not worry about anyone. You have to pay attention to what's going on around you in the marketplace, but then not get caught up in it. And it's so yin and yang in everything you do. And it's it's like in the roofing industry. I don't understand it. These guys have like these bylaws and these handshake agreements, like, well, if we're friends, you don't hire our people if they leave and we won't hire yours. And I'm like, look, man, if a customer of yours that you couldn't get done calls me because they want to get their roof done, I'm not going to say, well, no, I have a handshake deal with Bob, so I can't fix your roof. You're out of your mind, man. Like, you're going to feed your family. And I don't respect another grown man that says you would pick my family over yours. Because if you are a father, a family man, a husband, it's your job to be a protector and a provider. And if you really say that you're going to pick my family over yours, I have zero respect for you because there's nobody there. It doesn't mean you have to go, like, I understand the cutthroat, but I also like you don't have to go screw anyone over. You don't have to go bash anyone. You don't have to go do shady business. You can
Not
beat
dirty
people the
work.
right
Yeah.
away. Yeah, but like it's that mentality of like, hey man, respect for you getting it done. Like respect, but like, man, I'm gonna come out here and feed. Like we have 150 people that work for us. It's a huge responsibility, man. They have families to feed, and their families have families, and so I take a lot of responsibility. And look, man, I want those to eat first, right?
100%.
And they eat before me, and I wanted to take care of them. And I'm going to do everything in my power. And going and hang out with guys and people that work for other companies, I just don't feel like that's in the cards. I don't feel like that's me. I don't hate you, right? Like I don't. It's not like hatred. It's just I'm protecting the RR brand and the RR
You
family.
have to, bro. It's at the end of the day, you have to. They're your kids.
100%.
All your employees. Even to my guys, it's not like you guys are my kids. I don't care if
Yeah.
you're older than me, because most of them are. Like you're my kids. I have to. I have you, like whatever I do is best for us, and I try my very best as well. Just to again, they get paid first. They gotta eat. They got families to feed. You got to feed them.
Hmm.
And the hard how did you get to that many people? Like, dude, 1, 2, 3. Like people have 2 employees and they're
Hmm.
killing us. 150. How did you get to that level of 150 employees, bro?
Dude, I don't know. No, it's
That's crazy.
yeah, it is. In 4 years, everybody wants like the tricks of the trade. Everybody wants the shortcuts. Everybody wants like the three best tips, and it comes down to simple, man. Like just take care of your people.
Yeah.
But it's so simplistic, but we want to overcomplicate things. We want to make things sexy. Man, fall in love and never get bored with the basics. If you do that, you will be successful because we always wanted to come up with the next great idea and then forget about what got us there, right? And for me, when I started the organization, I wanted to build something for people like me that maybe didn't have a shot in life, right? Maybe people doubted them. Maybe they didn't ever think they'd make it to anything. Maybe they never had anyone believe in them. I want to give them an opportunity to come create themselves and create like a legacy for them, their family, make money, whatever that was. And it was all about people and it was about caring about people. And I never lose sight of that, right? Now, again, you can't do it for everybody. And people have their own agendas and people come and go. And I'm not naive to that. And I wish I could take care of all 150 the same way. But I know you can't do that. But I generally, when I make decisions, I always put the brand first in the
Right.
decisions I make. And it's hard, man, because you're juggling your own personal views and feelings,
100%.
your families, other people's families, the brand, right? So you're trying to make a decision that's unbiased and it's hard to do. But the one thing I ground myself in is the people, man. Like I want to take care of people. It doesn't mean like, people will reach out to you, they'll be disrespectful, they'll get in their feelings and think you're wrong. And that's fine. Everybody has their feelings, they have their own agenda. And I don't fault you for your feelings, but don't get mad and fault me for mine. Because if you're going to go out and say something reckless and it costs you your job, well, yeah, you have freedom of speech, man, but not freedom of consequences. Like
100%.
I have the ability to
People
feel
got
the
a
way I
problem
want
with
to. They do, man, and I'm going to protect the brand first and foremost. And look, if you, I hate to say, it's not that you don't listen to people and you want to help them, but I just look, I take care of people, and especially the people that have been with me, man. I have guys that have been with me day one, and they've been with me for 4 years. And it's crazy that these guys have been with us 4 years, right? And man, the love I have for those guys is like I'd do anything in the world for them. And
It's literally your family. It's
yeah,
your second family. They're not.
exactly.
What's also amazing, what I see it from you. You post this all the time. The culture that you create within your own company.
Hmm.
Like I never understood. I never had a company when I never really worked for anybody aside from high school jobs. But having the idea of a culture, what you did is incredible. What you continue to do is the culture of your brand and the people inside. You guys are working out in the morning. Tell me a little bit about that. You've been, because of you, man. I texted him, like, bro, I'm going back to the gym because I would do my 5 a.m. wake up, do the gym. It was the best thing I ever did in my
Yep.
life. Had a kid, kind of fell off. There's always an excuse for it, no question about it. But the best thing, you guys go to in the morning, you go to the gym with the guys at your house. Tell us
It's a
about
garage.
that. That's sick.
The garage is a gym. We got a cold plunge. We got an infrared sauna. We got weights, dumbbells. I mean, we got everything, right?
Right,
Like, there's
yeah.
a lot cable system, and man, we do it 6 days a week at 6 a.m. There's
Sick, bro.
anywhere from 8 to 12 on us on any given day, and it's all it's about, man, is getting up with your brothers and pushing yourself. And there's, man, I would say 75% of the time, I don't want to get up and do it. So you get up at 5 a.m., you go work out, and it's my own house, right? It's tough.
Accountability, though.
Dude, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
It's not for the weak.
Yeah.
Everybody can get it in the workout group. You get roasted. Like, we're actually about to do something fun we were just talking about. It's going to be worse, but we're going to do like the workout group Olympics. Like, we're going to do like a combine, dude, 40 time, like push-ups.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's literally how you push and keep
dude.
pushing.
Well, you don't realize, man, like we take a photo every day, right? And then you go back and look, you're like, you see the guy's progress and you see how people advance. But then what's really crazy is you see like their maturity and their growth, leadership tracking. Because look, man, when you get 10 people in the mornings, we're chopping it up, we're having a good time. Sometimes it's about work, man. Most of the time it's not, but we're talking about life. And then at the end, we do a good word, and that might be scripture, it might be prayer, it might be an issue you're going through. It might be a word you heard. It might be something you're dealing with. But at the end of every workout, somebody has a good word. And we assign it. It'll be me or assigned to somebody else. And it's cool, man, to see people, what they're going through and how we could help. And, and it's just like, hey, man, there's something about being in the locker room with your bros, right? And it's like your workout bros. And everybody, we're from all different walks of life.
And it's not, what's beautiful. One thing is to go with your friend, right? Yeah. It's a whole different thing when you have your team, because a lot of yours is sales and it's competition as well. Mm-hmm. So it's a whole different dynamic on how it's done. That's really freaking cool. Like I respect the hell out of you, and that inspired me actually here. But I'm not big enough yet, the location wise. But probably you would want to have a big facility where
it'd be nice,
all in one. Have a crazy gym, have everything in house. That would be. I'll probably dude. That would. Millions in sales, guaranteed.
Yeah, it would
extra.
Well, and it's too, like, I don't hang out with people, like, I don't go on trips with people outside the organization. It's either my wife and kids or people that are inside the organization that go on trips with me. Like the workout groups, just people that work with us. There's no outside, like, man, because this is where we're going, man. This is
one
my
mission.
team.
There's only one mission. Everyone's on one mission. That's right. And the vision is obviously, I'm sure you work on it all the time because it changes, but there is a vision that you give the guys and portray. That's the goal. Yeah. That's kind of what I like. For me, I have a vision, but I guess because maybe I'm not dreaming big enough sometimes. And I feel like, it changes.
It always changes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's normal, right?
I mean,
I go through these phases, bro.
Well, you change, you don't eat the same food every day. You don't, it's like you don't listen to the same song every day. Typically you listen to different stuff, you eat different stuff, right? Like the vision can change as long as you're working towards it. But I think you do have to have a North Star of where you want to go, and little things along the way can go. But I think it's all boils down to, who you are and understanding who you are. If you don't understand who you are, you'll never truly know what you want.
Tell me this, with all Dustin, how did it become who you are? What things in life you think that maybe events that really make you who you really are today? Because again, I genuinely know you're completely different than a lot of freaking dudes, and you set yourself apart from a lot of guys. What traits do you think that you, and don't be humble, don't be no, be raw. What do you think to get you where you're at now? Because you're really successful. You're a serial entrepreneur, invested in so many companies, bro. Respect the hell out of that, bro. I didn't even know that until I found out today. I'm like, damn, you actually go into multiple companies. It's just not Results Roofing. It's Liquid Death. It's what else you got going on?
It's so the companies that I own: Results Roofing, Results Painless Dent Repair, which is for your vehicle. We have RR Productions. We have RR Marketing. We have Results Claim Management, which is like when your insurance company's underpaid. And then companies that I invested in: Free Reign Coffee. That's Cole Hauser from Yellowstone. Yeah. There's Liquid Death. There's Go Fuel. Jerry Rice is that. Nomad Grills, which is you'll see it. They're exploding. Tips Treats, Snap Clothing. There's a few other ones that I'm going in. I can't talk about yet.
Which is freaking crazy. For me, I'm actually very curious. How did that happen? What to get to in those rooms, let's say, or to have those conversations and to be able to invest in those companies? What do you need? Obviously, money. Money is part of it.
Money's a part of it, man. Well, but people would have money if they just stopped buying stupid shit, trying to impress people they don't care about or they don't care about them. Yeah. And that's probably one of the keys is been knowing who I am.
Yeah.
When you know who you are, then you can be comfortable with who you are. Then you stop focusing on pleasing all these people around you and you focus on being your best, right?
Right.
And then that attracts people to you because you attract who you are, right? And you've got to give, givers rule the world. The world takes from takers and it gives to givers. And I don't want to hear, man, but I've been screwed over so many times. That's just your justification that you don't want to help people out. Like, what does that have to do with somebody screwing you over? Welcome to being an adult, right? Like,
100%.
you still have to give because you give for as good as you are, not as bad as they are, right? And so when you give to people, givers rule the world, right? Because when
100%.
somebody gives to me, I'm so appreciative that I want to do 10 times back to them. And what I found is in my circle of givers, they're all the same way. So when you give to them, bro, they want to give to you 10 times back. And then when they give 10 times back, you want to give. And
It's like an addiction.
You're
It
building
becomes like
each other
almost an
up.
addiction of
Yeah,
itself.
you're building
Because
people
the
up.
more, because, yeah, dude, it's a very interesting thing. I never, like, understand. Like, I never understand. Like, just, it's a concept where it's so simple, but people have such a problem doing. People
Yeah.
want to take. That's what they like. But again, it's being there with the right people,
Yeah,
right?
it's being with the right people.
Being with narcissistic people that you're used to, and it's just get sucked into it. But then when you start hanging out with people that are legitimately giving, and you realize the pleasure of it,
Yeah.
and how it returns back to you.
It always comes. Like, you can't give away giving truly because it always comes back to you.
It's like I know you're a person of faith. I'm really not, but I have my own like faith of like the universe and like energy of like giving good energy out.
Yeah.
Good energy comes back in, and it's just crazy things happen, bro. When like you put your head towards something, or you give that energy, and you're giving it, you're giving something out, and what you get back is so much more stronger.
What it is, and I think it boils down to who you are. For a long time, I chased money.
Yeah.
And I realized I never caught it because money didn't motivate me.
Yeah.
I just thought that you made money because people thought you were a better person if you made six figures, if you were a millionaire. And when I stopped giving a fuck about what they thought and I started chasing what I wanted, money just started coming to me. And then because I'd stopped chasing
people talk about that all the time. It's like
it,
you don't understand it until it happens.
Until it happens, because you're thinking that I'm gonna make. That's why I always laugh. Like, I love watching people that have these like goals of money and home, like houses, and I love because I'm like, they're so beatable. They're so beatable, bro. Because when they only want to be at $1 million, when they get to $1 million, they slow up.
Yeah.
They only motivate, and I'm like, that dude. Like, when I hear someone say, I'm like, man, that dude's done. That dude's done. I'm gonna run circles.
So you can't set a goal of money of a dollar figure.
Well, you should, because it's a smart goal, but it can't be your North Star. Like this, the people that scare me are people. Look, man. Like, when I had a conversation, we were talking about this earlier. Pastor David yesterday or day before, whatever it was.
Thursday.
I will tell you, the eyes don't lie. The eyes don't lie. When you look at another man's eyes,
hence the name of your podcast,
right, dude? This guy, like, when he started talking about what he really wants to do, he ain't talking about it. That's a person you don't want to compete with because he won't stop. Yeah. And like, I truly think that money's a tool for him. It's a vehicle to get to where he wants to go. Yeah. Dude, he's not motivated by money. You can't compete with a guy like that. Like, if you try to compete with a guy like that, he will bury you because he's playing for something you'll never understand. The guys that are playing for the Lambos, they're playing for the houses, which is nothing wrong with that. You should enjoy your life.
It's a different way of life.
It's a different world, man. You can still chase your dreams, but those are the people that scare me, because those are the people that will risk it all to get it all. They'll take risk, and they're playing for something bigger that most people can't understand, right? They're so competitive. Like, that's like the Kobe's, man. Like, it's the Jordans. There's the Tom Brady's. Like, Tom Brady's, to me, is the perfect example. If Tom Brady went after money, like we see a lot of players, which you got to get yours, I get it, and won at the 50, 60 million a year, would he have all the Super Bowls he did? And I would argue to say no. But what was his average in the league? I think they said it was like 15 to 20 million. I don't think he was ever a top paid 15 quarterback, or he averaged something like that, or he was like the 15th paid quarterback in the league, because he wanted to put winning teams around him. He sacrificed that winning. He was playing for something bigger, and that's why he became larger than life figure. And I think that's, like, for me, that's what I play for.
Well, but also you can't do it by yourself. Of it, you need a team, right? Obviously,
yes,
you need a team. And how do you like the people that you got around you? Because you got a fucking solid squad of people around you. Like, I met them. We had a little Zoom call, a Zoom meeting, and just seeing the players you got involved, obviously, and now that you got Derek Fay as a part, which is a freaking big news, solid freaking dude. How important are those players in your vision and to get you to the next level?
The people are the most important part. They're more important than me. They're the most important part. You have to surround yourself with people that are better than you. And
Yeah.
if you can't be real and honest with yourself about what your shortcomings are, you're never going to get to the top. This whole like, I'm self-made. No, you're not. And if you think that, like, you're not self-made, right? I love the fact that when something goes wrong, we always talk about it's everyone else's fault. But when something goes right, we're self-made. We want to point the fingers at us when something goes right and point the fingers out when something goes wrong. Hey,
Right.
man, you're not self-made, and you're never going to get to the top alone. And it's not lonely at the top. You take people with you. You have to be able to be honest with yourself and say, what are my shortcomings? That's what I did. And this guy is 10 times better than me at this. And so I'm going to put him in that position, and I'm going to let him do what he does, and I'm going to lead him and still, look into what he's doing, but I'm going to let him do what he does because I don't do that. And when you start surrounding yourself with people like that and you start becoming the least smartest guy in the room, you're winning, man. And you're learning and you're growing and you're being pushed, and then you're able to focus on things you want to do. It's like, I'll use this. Like, if you had a choice, right? And you could do anything one day for yourself. Let's just say yourself. What's the one thing you would love to do to be able to just go do by yourself? Like, take out wife and kids. This is just Leo we're talking about. What's the one thing you love to do?
Dude, you know what? I mean, it would depend. It would depend. I mean, but genuinely, and this is not bullshit. Like, I would love to. I love what I do. Like, legitimately love what I do, man. I would love to. It's like, what do you mean? Do you if I just go hobby wise?
Anything. Yeah, like if
No,
you go watch a
I
game.
I would honestly love to take a boat out into the ocean and just
What's
think
the
about life.
thing you would despise doing?
Going to a job I hate,
right? Like
just not being around people that I'm comfortable with. That's my biggest pet peeve in life, probably.
But if it was an action, like maybe, what's your least favorite sport?
I don't like baseball that much. It's cool interest. Baseball's not.
But you wouldn't want to go to a baseball game, right? Say, like, if you had choice. So my point is, it's like if I said, hey, man, do you want to go in the ocean or do you want to go to a baseball game?
Yeah,
you're going to go to the ocean,
choice
right?
is clear. Choice is clear.
But you can't make people do what they don't want to do. And when they do it, they have a bad attitude. And so, but we let our egos get in the way in business to think I can do it all. And so if like me, I don't like the finance game and enter and stuff in QuickBooks and so like that's not my specialty. And when I go do that, it's going to take me 10 times longer. There's probably going to be 100 times the error, right? So why not put your ego aside and hire an expert in that field instead of thinking, oh, I'm the entrepreneur, I'm the owner, I got to do it all. No.
But you think, you know what, people are like, it's such a great, because I literally have this guy, we have this conversation about he's very scared of letting go of that pedal or shifting gears. I always like to talk about like business is literally like a stick shift car. You're shifting, and it's all about not burning that clutch and smooth. Sometimes you're not doing it properly, but so when do you know when to shift into the next gear? Or that it's because it's very difficult when you're running a business and be like, all right, I have this gap, a problem in my company, like the QuickBooks.
Yeah,
I need somebody, but you're also scared because the money aspect, you got to pay another salary now. How do you shift on that? Like, how do you?
Yeah, so stop looking at the money you're losing, start looking at the money you're gaining. Yeah. Right? So like for instance, when we opened the company and I'm driving sales and I'm selling, 7 to 10 roofs a month. I was literally almost our entire sales team starting out, right? And when you start stacking those up, you start having a lot of like data entry because there's a lot of, they call it behind the scenes admin stuff, right? So, hey man, if I could hire someone for $4,000 a month to do that, and it frees me up, call it 15 hours a week, how much more revenue can I bring into the company? But as owners, we're like, well, I don't want to pay that $4,000 salary. Well, dumbass, you're missing out on about $50,000 in revenue.
And you're capping yourself.
You're not going anywhere. And the people go, well, I don't want to let it go because I don't trust anyone, because you don't trust yourself. The reason you don't trust,
we got to talk about
you don't trust yourself.
We're going to talk to you about this, bro.
Yeah, you don't trust yourself, man, and it's like you've screwed people over. You've done shady stuff, so therefore you think everybody else is doing shady stuff. And look, man, there's shady people out there. I get it, but you're the one hiring them, so try to vet them out, right? Yeah. And if they do screw you over, then you have to move on, and it's part of business because it's going to happen. It's not going to be perfect. There's a margin for human error.
Exactly.
Look, and people are going to make mistakes, man. And not every mistake someone's trying to screw you over.
The excuse I have that they have, not me actually. I all for you looking at what you're doing, and before that, like I would always hire people and just to hire to fulfill the position and get as we get as more time goes on, perfect it, get better. But it's not perfect. Starting out, you throw the person, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Kind of, let's say some positions, or they know, but it's not what you're expecting, and you can't really get mad at them because they're getting thrown into the fire almost of figuring out. But I think that's the whole idea is to throw them in, kind of give them some guidance and to start figuring out and to making your life easier. And people have problems because they think, oh, well, if I would have done it, it would have been so much faster. I think that right there is the biggest problem with people in business. They have that, like, well, I could do it better. I could do it better. And they never
and those
grow.
people never grow. And,
Yeah.
and also, too, is then hire someone, like this other thing, overpay for talent.
Yeah.
Because you go out there and cheap hire 5 people that are, say, B minus, C plus players. And you end up paying them the same if you would have went out there and got 1 A plus talent, but you're like, well, I'm not giving him a $10,000 a month salary.
Yeah.
But you gave 5 people $3,000 a month salaries that don't even do the revenue
That can't show
skills.
up because their car's breaking down.
They can't do
feed
anything.
their families. They have to borrow money now, and it's
and they're negative. So you hire for talent. So again, it goes to, and then sometimes you said it best, man. And I don't even think you meant to say this, and I'm not taking it as a negative, but you said I hired just to fill the position, and you can't do that because people think hiring is going to eliminate problems. Dude, the crazy thing is hiring is actually going to create more because you're going to have to train them. There's going to be a ramp up process.
Yeah.
What you have to look at is when we look at who are we hiring, okay?
Yeah.
We're hiring for XYZ position. Okay, great. What problems are they solving for?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know, then you shouldn't hire them. And if they're going to solve for problems, you need to have a detailed description on what they're doing because here's what happens. In your mind, you hire Joe and you say, hey, man, in my mind, Joe's going to do this.
Yeah.
And then you don't detail out exactly what Joe's going to do. In Joe's mind, he's doing this.
Right.
And then so you get frustrated because you have this pre-notion of what he's supposed to do, but you never communicated it with him. And then so he's out doing what he thinks he needs to do. So in his mind, he's right. In your mind, you're right. Then the animosity builds and you end up firing him or he resents you and then he quits. And it's like have that day one conversation about clear expectations and then manage those expectations and then sit down and either, review them and then reward or redirect. But we just go, well, I'm having financial problems, so I'm going to hire an office admin. She's not going to fix your problems. She's going to add to them because she doesn't know the way you want it done. And then we go, well, why didn't she fix it? Well, it's not your business.
How would you, let's say in that situation, how would you then, let's say, but you, like I said, you're like the QuickBooks aspect of it, right? Do you know QuickBooks in and out, the whole scenario?
No, not at all.
You just found somebody that knows it, right?
Find somebody that I trust and somebody that I know and go out and give them something that nobody else will. So they'll do stuff for me that nobody else will.
Yeah. Dude, like even for laborers, for me, like my guys love my team. Everyone I know for a fact that everyone I pay for my guys, everyone's could afford for a living.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of companies nowadays don't pay for them to live. Like put food on the table, have a car, God forbid, not an old car. Like, dude, like biggest thing for me is like, dude, once my guys show up on the car, I want them to be proud. A, B, they can actually show up. And cars, of course, a new car could break down, but that's not the point. Like an old car, dude. How many times you hear stories of like guy or you remember, oh, bro, my car broke down. I got this problem. I got this problem. Dude, that's costing money, and people don't get like if you're gonna be paying low, that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get consistent problems, and not people are professional, and that really don't even want to work because they're not. There's no commitment for what? For somewhere they could go with Walmart. Dude, Walmart now freaking offers $20 an hour, which is crazy. But dude, you have to compete with that, and that's why for me, I really try. I mean, you can't really motivate them with money, but you kind of do because at least a certain point. Because not like I said, money's not everything. It has to be culture. It has to be a vision where they're going. But that is so important with people in the construction industry, roofing. Even I mean, you really don't deal with laborers, right? As much.
Yeah,
you guys have
still do.
repair. What's your company more? You would say what's it more? Like what's percent of repairs? What's percent of like? How would you split it up?
Most of the stuff we do is we do a lot of repairs, right? We do a lot, and when you get hit with a hailstorm, usually your roof, your gutters, your fence, you have like garages and you replace staining, screens, so interior leaks, like, and then not all roofs need to be replaced, so you do a lot of repairs and resealing. So you do a lot of that stuff, but look, man, and it boils down to is like how you treat your people, right? And again, not everybody. Look, I don't believe in paying everyone the same, because
Yeah.
you pay your stars,
Yeah.
and you win with superstars. Like,
Yeah.
you win in every life with superstars, right? And if somebody wants to get paid like a superstar, then put in the skills. I mean, put in the work to develop the skills to become a superstar, and then
100%.
you get paid like a superstar. You don't get paid like a superstar by doing bench player work,
Yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah.
And so it's people are like, who's your favorite? The guy that is the best employee. That's my favorite. Like, that's the person, because we probably have a lot in common, and we're probably going to understand each other. And he's probably working more, and he's delivering more, and he has a will to win, and he wants to get better, and he wants to grow. And those are the type of people that I want to be around. I don't want to surround myself with losers, man. I don't
True
want to
that,
be
man.
around people that don't want to get better. I don't want to. It's nothing against you. It's not that I hate you. It's not that I think you're a bad person. But look, I know where I'm going. I know where I want to go, and it's not. I need to be surrounded by the right people in the who, right? And so I want to surround people like that, because they want to go there too, and I'm going to bring them along for the ride, man.
No, that's again, that's a culture, that's the whole vision. It's to take everyone along for the
Yeah,
ride together, not by yourself, because you
absolutely.
can't go by yourself.
No,
But it's a short term gain, but not a long term
yeah,
gain.
it doesn't work long term.
So, dude, Dawson, what do you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years? What's the next goal? What are big moves? What do you want to see yourself do in the next 5, 10 years? You say?
Man, the goals really haven't changed. Like, I want to be, build a legacy for me and my family and the people around me. I want to impact as much people as possible. Um, the $1 billion brand is just kind of a personal, selfish goal that I know if we get there, it's going to change a lot of people's lives, man. Outside of my wife and kids, like, love my wife to death. Obviously, love my kids. Like, I'm saying take those out because I love them
Yeah. Let's
more
take
than
all that
anything.
out.
But man, watching people that started with us making $20,000 a year that are now making $300,000-400,000 a year.
Sick.
Watching people come on that we're making 30, now making 80. Watching people become fathers, become parents, become better leaders. Watching leaders develop leaders. Watching leaders develop leaders who are like that impact that I made on someone that started 4 years ago. That's now making an impact on someone that started 4 days ago. It's just the ultimate fulfillment to me, man. And I want to continue that, right? And with expansion to build this global brand, right? Selfishly, man, I want to be the best to ever do it. Like, I want to be the best, not only just in roofing, I want to be the best in business. And will I ever be? Like, hey, man, it's a lofty goal, but I would rather fail at
Best
that
for
goal.
yourself, at least.
Yeah,
That you did
that I
everything
want,
you could
right?
to get
To
to it.
keep pushing, man. Be the best in the roofing to ever do it. Build a true brand in the roofing industry, and then when it's all said and done, is leave the people around me with something and leave them better by being here than when they first started. And so that's a part. Now, if you tangible things like Florida, right?
Yeah.
Want to doing the podcast, right? Continue to build that, but it's weird, man. Like, I don't get motivated by money by any stretch of the imagination. When people start trying to entice me with money, and I start losing interest, because
Yeah.
money's a vehicle. I do want to leave generational wealth for my family. I want my kids to never experience what I had, man. Like, people like growing up in the trailer park in the slums, not having money for food, being evicted, no running water at times, no electricity. Like, I never want my kids to go back there ever.
But that's what made you who you are. It's just
100%.
it's important. And that as a father, that's the hardest thing. Is I was again talking about this yesterday with somebody, how it's the scariest thought is for your child to not like what you're saying, to have your childhood, but just to go, and that's like there's no answer to it. You don't even know. You could do everything right, you think, and just that's the scariest thought. Like, what would you say? You think to raise your kids? You're a father of three.
Yeah.
What's to instill the values? You think what's the most important? I know you love your freaking kids to death, like
Yeah.
how you talk about them and everything.
I love them.
Obviously.
I think kids need to be, man, I'm not trying to get into a debate about it, or piss anyone off with it, but it is what it is. I think, like, children need to be raised when they're young by their mothers, man. They need to be with their mothers. Like watching my kids with the bond with their mother is the greatest thing for me, man. To have that privilege
So
of
she's at home.
she's at home, man. It's so amazing to me, and the love and the protection. It's like the man. I don't know if I could do what I do if my wife wasn't able to take care of our kids the way she does,
Respect.
right?
Yeah, 100%. I
It's
totally
like
agree with that.
it's the most attractive thing on earth. And then, but for your kids, it's like I try to be intentful, man. Like I'll just use with Connor because Connor's my oldest and he goes to school every day. So every day I take him to school, right? So we finish working out. He has to be to school by 7:30. So I take him to school, and we repeat the same thing every day. I go, hey Connor, you know, we're gonna have a great day today. I said, what are we gonna do today? He goes, we're gonna have a great day, Dad. I go, why? He's like, we're gonna make it a great day. And then I said, what's the 4 things we're gonna do? He's like, hey Dad, we're gonna work hard. We never quit. We don't give up. And we always help people.
I love that.
And
That's awesome.
we do that every day. And then we dive into like almost like a word or a creative thinking, like, you know, consistency or commitment. Because, hey, why do you have to be a man of your word, Connor? He's like, well, I don't know, Dad, why? And so we give analogies and go through it and why you should
You
be
have him
nice to
question
people.
everything just so he could process it much better.
He's processing, right? And Connor was very unique because when I started the company, we couldn't afford daycare. So he was with me every day. My wife, unfortunately, had to work at the time.
Yeah.
And so he went to work with me every single day, right? Every single day for over a year, man, almost 2 years, I think. And that was about a year, maybe. And he learned so much, man. But we do that every single day. And then, you know, I remember recently he told me, he's like, Dad, you know, like the kids in school, I don't know them all, or, you know, like they don't really talk to me as much. I said, man, go up every day and just say, like, know his name and say, hey, Leo, good morning, man. I hope you have a great day, right? And he's like, why, Dad? I said, just do it every day.
Throw them off so bad.
So now he's like, they all love me, Dad.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's just instilling that into them and being real with them. And then I try to be intentful, man, because I work a lot. And people are like, work-life balance, that doesn't exist. There's no such things. And look, here's the thing that bothers me is why on earth would I want to choose the 2 things that I love the most? I love my wife and kids, and I love what I do the most. I love both of them so much, man. It's like, of course I'm going to pick my family 10 out of 10 times. Like, it's not, but
Yeah.
it's like, why do I have to be forced to choose? Why can't I love them both? Why can't I integrate my family life with my work life and my work? Like, why do you choose? Because if you want to be average, then be average, but it's not for me.
100%.
And so I include my wife in things. She knows about the company. She knows the good, but I don't go home and complain to her about it. So many people, just imagine this. Imagine your wife. So let's say she's at home, even if she's at work. She doesn't see you for probably 10 hours a day, right?
100%.
Maybe longer. And then you
you
sleep.
probably see your partners more than you see your wife and kids.
Yeah, so let's say for you, like I use me. I get up and work out, my wife's asleep. I see her for a small interaction when I'm getting ready. I go to work and I don't see her till, 6, 7 o'clock at night. So I see her for probably 3 hours. And imagine if all I'm doing, man, this sucks. Job sucks. So then
Imagine how many men do that.
and then she goes, I mean, you should quit. You shouldn't do this because the thing that you hate is pulling you away from me for 12 hours a day, but yet you still go there. So I get 3 hours with you and I don't see you for 10, 12, and all you do is complain. Why would she support you? Why would she support you working weekends?
Yeah.
Now imagine if you go home and like, it was a great day and you talk about the good because you're going to see what you're looking for. So if you're looking for the bad, you're going to see the bad. You're looking for the good, you're going to see the good. And so I try to bring her in on it, man. And I don't want to tell her. She'll even laugh because she was laughing at the new podcast. She's like, getting the tea with DG. You don't ever tell me the tea. Because
I love it, bro. I saw it the other day. I'm like, yo,
I don't want to corrupt her. And I want my kids to feel a part of it. I want them to be, man, when they see that RR, they're like, that's daddy.
They know
that's
family. That's literally 100%.
So I incorporate them into it, man. And the same thing with everybody. Like my kids call employees like Uncle Rob, like they know them. We do family trips together. My wife goes on girls trips with some of the wives in the organization. We do things together, man. It's like, I love what we do.
Talking about trips, you told me this very interesting thing, which was like, about Disneyland, and when I met you, like something about Disneyland gets you ultra creative in this completely different zone. Obviously, with kids and stuff, but aside from being with the kids, what does Disneyland give you inside the internal? Like, what kind of feelings can you get? Like, what is it?
Dude, so I saw this thing the other day, and it was crazy because it made me cry because it was like it said, Disney adults are just kids who grew up too fast, And now they take their kids to Disney to experience the life they didn't, something along those lines.
Nice.
It's like so true. I didn't know Disney World, Disneyland, any of them existed when I was a kid. I thought it was literally made up. So the first time I went, I was hooked. And I think it's
when was the first time you went?
Plus
minus.
My Connor was like 3 months old. I didn't want to go, bro.
Like 5 years, like 5-ish.
6 years. 6 years ago. Oh, a little over 6 years. My wife was like, "We're going." And I was in the fitness industry, and we were acquiring these gyms, and we were supposed to start working, but the deal got held up. So I was getting paid, but I wasn't working at the time. And we were just going through some stuff, man, because we just had a kid, and it was like we moved.
Chaos.
And she was like, "Let's just go to Disney World." And I'm like, "That's stupid. I'm not going." I thought it was dumb, bro. I was the typical Disney adult that's never been to Disney and then makes fun of people for going to Disney. Like, Disney sucks. When's the last time you went? When I was 5. I'm like, okay. Hey, bro, I fell in love. And when I went, I started researching Walt Disney. And I started researching what he went through. And I'm thinking, dude, like, this dude's last name is Disney. And he, like, it's now, I don't agree with everything that's going on right now. But again, that wasn't Walt Disney. It's different, exactly right? Yeah. But when you go there, take politics out of it and see the creativity, the imagination, the legacy, man, the stuff that they built and continue to impact. Dude, he changed the world. Yeah. He literally changed the world, man. There's Disneyland Paris, Disneyland Tokyo. There's Disney's all over.
Crazy.
Bro, it is the wildest thing. And so when I'm there, it just... I think it was like a Disney quote, the problem with the world is we just grew up. And we don't have this imagination, and we don't have these childlike qualities of our imagination and our creativity. And so people are like, well, you're just a creative person. I'm like, dude, you have no idea, man. Like, I'm not. But I practiced that and worked at it. And so when I go to Disney World or Disneyland, seeing the inspiration of these characters and seeing what they've built, I'm like, why can't I build something like this?
Inspiration. And it gives you pure inspiration.
And when you hear him say, it all started with a mouse, I'm like, this fucking guy built this off of a mouse. Like, that is insane to me. And it just makes I start thinking about how he did it. What was the creative? How did it work out? How do you go from a mouse to this? And it starts like, why can't I do this? And why couldn't I do that? And this dude, and it just being there, man, creates this spark and this imagination. And I think everybody has that. Like, find your mouse. It doesn't have to be Disney World or Disneyland, but you could there's probably some out there, whether you're in the woods or maybe you're a fisherman, maybe whatever it is, man. It's, for me, it helps. It's like, now I got to get up and work out. I love to do it. And when I go to places like that, man, it creates ideas. Even with these guys, man, we take our production crew, they go with me all the time. And when I'm around them, I don't know why, but I start coming up with a lot of ideas. Even my wife in the car, what does she say? You're just driving around bored, coming up with ideas. And I don't know why, but with them, it's like I get super creative with them as well.
It's like subconsciously, that, because what they do is the creative side of your business. And it subconsciously, or even consciously at this point, it triggers that in your head. Like, the biggest problem, and my wife, I had this conversation with my wife, and we're talking about thinking big. Like, dude, we don't think big enough. Mm-hmm. It's a disease, bro, that you literally, because even to the life I live now, I'm very proud of where I'm at right now. Yeah. But I'm like, holy fuck, like, thinking back, I would never think about how this and whatever. But like, dude, we limit ourselves. The one reason we limit ourselves is because we're not thinking big.
Yeah, 100%.
The bigger you could think, and the fact when you say you go to Disney, like, it completely opens that up.
Yeah.
And it's probably still limited. It's still limited. But at least it's a place where you go that you can open up the brain, open up the mind, and get into your creative side. And it's so important. Most of the majority of people, I think, I would say, I don't even know, 99% of people don't even think that way. They're just in the grind, 9 to 5, out, family, bitching about their work, how life sucks,
or nothing about it.
And then nothing about it. That's a fucking cool. That's
because it's what you're listening to, man. Like, what are you putting into your body? You're like, your eyes are gonna see and your ears are gonna hear what's on the mind. So if you're looking for negative and you're only listening to negative, you're gonna see negative, right? You're gonna hear negative. If like for me, it's like, I don't dream big because it was just the way I was born. I dream big because I study other people that have accomplished it and dream big. So that's what I'm looking for. And so if you're getting in your car and you're listening to music, then you're probably not going to dream big. If you're getting on the phone bitching to your wife on your way home, you're probably not going to dream big. And neither is your wife. Guess what? When you get in your car and you put on that podcast, you put on that sales leadership book, you listen to that audio book, you listen to those reels that are motivational or dream big, or you're studying Michael Jordan, you're studying Tiger, you're studying the people that have made it. Like, study anybody that's made a high level of success. It's going to challenge you to dream big. It's going to challenge you to dream big. If you get in the car and you listen to music, then you're probably going to have music on your mind. If you get in there and bitch to your friends, if you go on and complain about your boss, you go on there and complain to your wife about work, then guess what? You're probably going to be negative out, and you're going to think small because that's all you're hearing. I just don't buy into that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to be around that stuff. And I get tired of people saying, I'm just venting. Stop disguising your complaining as venting. You're fucking complaining, and complaining does nothing for you. Now, I get it. You're going to have bad days. I do. My wife does, and she'll call me to get something off her chest, and that's fine. And I'll do the same. But if every interaction is complaining or venting, then there's something wrong with you. You're the fucking problem, dude. You need to fix it. You need to fix your daily routine. And when I see where people are at, they're like, well, man, you don't know me. I'm like, yeah, I do. I know exactly who you are. I've seen it a million times, because guess what? I was that dude. Yeah. I was that same person, man. And it's like, I was the one complaining. I was the one working 9 to 5, not doing anything about it, working a job, blaming my job. Man, it was my fault, man. It was nobody else's fault. It was mine. So
to that, Joe Rogan talks about bandwidth. How he talks about, like, I love that analogy, because there's X amount of bandwidth that we all have, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is, with negative thoughts, that shit really fills up that space heavily. And the biggest problem, like, for me, is always to free up that bandwidth. Family, positive, and business. Like, and you cannot, there's not enough space in that brain to think about all the negative things that are happening.
No.
There's just not enough. Those negative thoughts, and it's a virus that keeps growing and taking up the space in there. So make sure to open up that bandwidth at all times. And listen, it's natural to have bad thoughts. I have bad 100%. Thoughts all the time. But you need to get rid of them as soon as possible. Your whole goal in life is to get rid of them and to keep moving. So another question, dude, I have. Like, what's crazy? People, no, I should go this way. Do you read books?
Audio.
Honestly.
No, I audio. I don't.
Audio.
Bro, I can't tell you the last time I read a book, but I've listened to a couple.
Yeah, I hate myself for that, dude. But books, you started doing audiobooks recently. You've always been doing audiobooks, you would say.
On and off, yeah.
Yeah. Podcast. Where would you get most of your, how do you consume most of your, let's say, business stuff, your mindset stuff? It's all YouTube, right? Probably.
YouTube, like Instagram. Like, if you go to people, like, I always laugh when someone tells me I'm productive. I go, man, can I see your Instagram?
Yeah.
Or their TikTok?
Yeah.
Because you go to their reels, the algorithm picks up everything you watch.
Yeah.
And it's like cars and half-naked girls. I'm like, bro, you ain't focused. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, really, though, because that's what you're watching. And mine are all like motivational and tactics and stuff. And so I would say a combination. But I would say, man, I've learned the most things by going out there and doing shit. It's like so many people think, well, I'm going to go to every conference and every convention, get every mentor, and they don't implement
drinking the Kool-Aid.
They don't do anything, right? They don't do anything. Yeah. You got to go implement stuff. And then, hey, man, once you start getting to a certain point where you feel like you hit some roadblocks and you've established something, then maybe get a mentor that's in your field or accomplished what you're trying to accomplish, and they can help you look out for the next roadblocks, or read some books, watch some YouTube. But it's all out there for free if you can't afford it, right? If you can't afford a mentor, you can get a mentor online. Yeah. You can read all the stuff. They're telling you the same stuff. The crazy thing is, if you go to these conferences, same stuff's online. Now, it feels better in person. I 100% agree. And you get the network. There's a different aspect. But if you can't afford that, go watch it online, right? Like, go watch it. Go listen to something to better yourself.
The content online is
it's crazy.
You could do anything. Today's world. That's why schools are bullshit. Like, it's game over. They have to pivot severely to survive right now. Well, you could get online. You could start your businesses online. You could do everything. There's a video on every aspect of every part of life.
100%.
And going to the point of the events, like, for me, like, Patrick, out of all the events, Patrick does the best events. Hands down. The dude got the best information, best everything. But I think the most valuable part is the people you meet. Like, and we met. I'm so happy and blessed to have met you.
Same.
Out of everyone there, bro, like, for some reason, you at that event, it was like 40 people. We were like kind of next. I mean, I know, just for me personally. But those events is great for that networking.
Yeah,
because Because listen, it takes to play. People don't understand that. They want shit for free. Like, you go to a free event, you're going to get, that's what you get.
Like,
Like,
free clientele.
what do you expect? It's going to be garbage of the garbage. Not that I'm saying, like, sorry, but that's the reality. Like, if you want to play with the big boys, you got to put the money in. You got to invest into yourself because you're investing into yourself.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't come free.
100%.
Nothing free. If nothing in this world, nothing in the world is free is worth it. Like, it's just how it is.
100%. 1,000% agree.
Dustin, bro, it's been a pleasure, homeboy. I cannot wait to talk to you in another year, 2, 3, because it's not even 5 or 10 years, bro. I see your growth every year. We're gonna sit back down, talk, and dude, let's talk. Let's make this dream happen, baby.
I look forward to it. Thank you.
I appreciate you, dude.
Appreciate it.
Let's go, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time on the Project Next Level podcast. Let's go, baby.